Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Business Talk with Ivan. And today you are in for an absolute treat without a shadow of a doubt. But before I get into that, I just want to kind of just say that I really cannot think of a better time to be working online. And internet usage is up over 400%, which is just absolutely incredible. Now, if you're then saying, well, what are people doing on the internet? And the answer to that question is they are searching for a plan B. They're searching for a backup plan. And that is what me and my guest help people generate, because what we do is we help people start their own internet-based businesses all over the world. And my guest tonight is an absolute entrepreneurial legend, right? She really is. She is originally from Canada, but she is now living the dream life in the sunshine of beautiful, beautiful Mexico. You know, but the amazing thing is, before she started a business, she didn't even have a Facebook profile. She has literally started everything from scratch. Okay, so if that doesn't prove and show people that anyone can start a digital business, then I don't know what does. So stand by, because we're going to hear from Debra right now. Hello, Debra. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
How are you?
Amazing, just totally amazing.
Oh, I'm absolutely thrilled. Honestly, I've been so excited about this all day. I really have. And I know you hear this a lot, but I am so honored that you've taken the time out to speak.
Well, I'm blessed by you inviting me to talk with you. I'm excited to talk with you, Ivan.
There is so many people that, I mean, literally the comments are flying in already, Debra. Everyone is just wanting to say hello to you. So, you know, we've got people joining. If you're watching online, make sure you give StreamYard permission so that your comments can be shown on screen. All right, and I will gladly display them. But say hello to us. Let us know where you're watching from. But how's your day going today, Debra? What's the weather like in Mexico? Please tell me it's sunny. 33
degrees today, Celsius. It's absolutely beautiful. I had my air conditioner on now. One of the things, Ivan, I know this isn't business, but I keep the air conditioner on in my home on 26 degrees. In Canada, if it's 26 degrees, we have the air conditioner on in Canada at 26 degrees. And here in Mexico, I keep mine on 26 degrees, and sometimes I find it a little chilly. So I guess I'm climatized to the Mexican weather now.
You absolutely are. How long have you been in Mexico for? How long have you lived down there?
Since the fall of 2018.
Wow. Wow. So you definitely are an acclimatized Mexican now.
Yes.
Do you have a sombrero?
I do have a sombrero. Every Mexican has to have a sombrero.
I know.
I keep it in my umbrella stand. I keep my umbrellas in the basket and my sombrero on top of it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Absolutely amazing. Well, tonight we are going to talk all about running an internet-based business, and you've been doing your incredibly successful for a number of years now. So, you know, I guess my first question is just tell the people that are watching a little bit about yourself, who you are, how you've ended up in Mexico, and how you started your business.
Okay. Well, first of all, my name is Debra McClanagan, and I'm originally from Canada. I'm a child of God, first of all. I'm a mother of 6, a grandmother of 17, and a great-grandmother of 5. And I'm soon to be a new grandmother in August, so I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully I'll be able to get back to Canada to be with her when she has her baby. But anyways, and I'm a successful online business owner. So that's me. That's me. And, you know, Ivan, when I started this business, I don't think I was actually looking for a business when I actually found this business, but I had been laid off of my job, you know, and after many, many years, I was included in a 1,200 employee layoff, and they laid off all us top paid workers. With being an accountant, Rightfully so. The business did the right thing, laying off the people that they were paying the most money to, and eliminated our positions. And then they rehired people with different positions. And when, I talked to the young girl that was hired to do my position with a different name, different title, she was making the amount of money per year that I was having deducted in income tax. So, I mean, the companies did smart. So there's no job security. It doesn't matter how long you've been at a job. There's no job security anymore. So I started looking for work. And, it was in October of 2015 when I was laid off. And I started, taking resumes around because the head person of our company gave me a letter of recommendation when they laid me off.
Oh, right. Okay.
So, that doesn't happen very often either. And I knew that I knew my job well. I knew I did very well at my job because I enjoyed it. And that makes a difference on you doing a good job or a bad job if you like what you're doing. So I thought, I'm not going to have any problem getting a job. But you know what? I had to come to the realization that nobody wanted to hire anybody over the age of 60. That's a given, especially now, like their businesses are cutting back. And like, I even had one business saying, we can't afford to hire somebody with your experience, and I'm saying, well, that really doesn't make a lot of sense. But they said, with somebody with your experience and education, you're in a certain, pay level, and we can't afford to hire someone with your experience. So, I thought, what am I going to do? Because 2 years prior to that, we had a situation happen within our family that we stepped up to the plate. I mean, we have 6 children, and we stepped up to the plate to help them. And it took all of our savings, all of our investments, everything we had, we put out to get our grandchildren out of a situation that they didn't need to be in, right? And we won. And actually we made history in the province of British Columbia because we're the only people that have ever overturned another judge's order. Oh, we made history. Yeah, but I wasn't giving up. I was adamant that my grandchildren were not going to be living in the situation they were living in. I was adamant they were not going to be going into a foster care or in with strangers when I was very capable of looking after them, right? So, we did what we had to do. So it was just bad timing. That happened. Then I got laid off my job, and living in Fort McMurray, Alberta, where we were living, you can't live on one income. It's impossible. And then with, losing everything that you had for your future, for your retirement, I was going to be working till the day I died. And, and it was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I thought, well, I'll start looking online, even though, I started looking online and I'm seeing all these things. And I came across, Mike and Darren's ad, and the same one they showed last night. I came across that ad.
Oh, right, okay. I watched that earlier today.
I watched it, and I thought, that would work. That's really interesting. But I didn't do anything. And the next day, their ad was there again. It came across my page every day for, I know, over a month or more. Finally, I clicked on it. I mean, I was a little slower than the rest, right? I was a little slower than most. Finally, I clicked on it, and it was like my jaw was hitting the table when I'm watching this, because being an accountant, I seen the numbers. But the only thing that really scared me was I had a lot of fear, because they were talking about social media. And I'm thinking, they're saying names I've never heard tell of. What is this? They're talking about Facebook and Twitter, and like, what are those words? I didn't even know what they were. So I'm like, I used to work on a computer 12 and 14 hours every day, but I worked on database programs, income tax programs, accounting programs. And at the end of the day, I didn't want to go learn how to use Facebook or Twitter. I just closed my computer. I didn't want to look at it. So, I never learned how to do all those things, but I knew by looking at that, I could do it. And I knew, I can learn. I'm willing to learn. And the thing of it is, are you willing to make a change? And I knew if I didn't get out of my comfort zone and learn how to do something different, I really didn't know what was going to happen with my life. Like, am I going to lose my home? Am I going to lose everything I worked all my life for, right? Yeah. And I thought, what a bad age. You're 60 years old and you're going to lose everything that you worked all your life so hard for. Like, but that's reality today. That's what life is. So anyway, I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this. So
and you've never looked back since, really, have you? You've never looked back at all.
I've never looked back. And you know what, Ivan? I know, the learning curve of learning the different social.
That's my next question, actually, is how difficult was it? Talk me through a little bit. How was that
I
journey?
didn't even know how to put a picture on Facebook. Like, and they're saying, you have to put your picture on Facebook. And I'm saying, well, okay. So I said to my grandson, oh, thank God for my grandson who knew computers. He was 11 going on 12. And I said to him, Tacey, honey, can you help grandma put a picture on Facebook? He said, sure, grandma. So he comes into my office and, he's helping me put a picture on Facebook and I'm writing down these notes. And I said, when you're gone, I'm not going to have a clue what to do, right? So he said, okay, grandma, you just have to Google it. I said, oh, Tace, what is Google? And he said, oh, grandma, you can do this. So he showed me Google and he said, you type the question in. How do I put a picture on Facebook? ? And he said, just enter and your answers will pop up for you. Anything you want to learn, grandma, on the computer, you can do it through Google. You just ask the question. So anyways, I went out and visited with them, and they went home later and I go right back into my office and I'm looking at my notes and I'm saying, oh my gosh, what does that say? What did I write down? Like I didn't even know what it was saying because I didn't recognize the lingo. So anyways, I went to Google and I typed in the question and these YouTube things are coming up and I open them and they're talking about toothpaste. They're talking about furniture. They're talking about cars. They're talking about, hair supplies, vitamins. And I'm thinking, that's not working. So I did that, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours straight. Then I went to bed because I thought, that's not working. The next day I get up and I did it all day long. Asked that same question. I'm thinking, what am I doing? And I don't know why I was doing the exact same thing and it wasn't working. So I was doing it over and over and over and over. So I had to learn, like, if it doesn't work the first time, you better stop and take a look at what you're doing, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I did it all that day. So finally I thought, oh my gosh, I got to call him. So I called him after school and I said, Tacey, honey, this just isn't working for grandma. Like, what am I going to do? And he said, well, grandma, what are you doing? And I said, this is a 12-year-old, right?
I'm thinking that to myself, actually. Yeah.
Right? This is a 12-year-old. So I said, well, I'm typing the question in, putting the question mark, exactly what you got. And I said, this thing called YouTube is coming up and they're talking about toothpaste and furniture and vitamins and, oh my God, everything you can imagine. And he laughed. He said, grandma, down in the bottom of that, it says skip ad. You click on that skip ad and then your answer's there. I said, well, nobody told me that. Like, it wasn't common sense to me on how to do these programs. And I realized, with a lot of people, especially my age, because, we were raised in a generation where you were taught, you go to school, you get a good education, you get a career, you marry a rich man. Well, that didn't happen. And, and you work the rest of your life. And then they were always told us that, after 65 is the golden years. Well, you know what? Whoever come up with those words had to have been on some kind of drugs because your golden years are when you're younger and you have your family and your children growing up and your parents and, the fun times when you can do things, right? Not when you're 65 and you're broke because you have to retire and live on 40% of what you couldn't live on in the first place. Right? Where do they get golden years out of that? So, this is a way, this business, and I knew it from the minute. And like I said, I didn't know how long it was going to take. And I thought it's not a get rich quick scheme. So, and I love that idea. It wasn't get rich quick because I've been an accountant doing income taxes for over 42 years. I've seen businesses come and go and come and go. But this business, it was young people. It was people my age. It was all different ages, all different walks of life, every country of the world. And people are becoming successful. And I'm thinking, I want to do this. I'm going to do this. So I said, okay, I'm going to give myself 2 to 5 years. And I wanted to be making a high, 5-figure a month income. That's what I wanted. When I first started out, I wanted to be making $5,000 a month. If I could make $5,000 a month, that would pay all my bills. I'll be able to live. I'll be able to go on a trip once a year. That was my first goal. Well, it happened. And it was like, wow. And then the 5-figure month came and it was like, oh my gosh, like this is really real, And it blew my mind when I had my highest 5-figure income. It blew my mind because I used to live right east in New Brunswick, and it was more money than I made in a year. Like it just blew my mind. And so I'm thinking, how can I be a blessing to other people? I want to be a blessing to other people, and I want to share this business because it takes time. But I thought if I give myself a 5-year period to be making the money that I want to be making and living comfortable and be able to help as many people along the way do the same thing.
I get it.
That's more than I've done in my 60 years of life. And I've given my 5 years to do it. Well, it was 4 years in February since I joined this business. So, it happened for me a lot sooner. But did it happen like quickly? No, it still took time to happen. But, I really have a hard time understanding why people just don't watch our information session and just check it out for themselves, because I'll have people say, well, maybe it's not for me. Well, maybe it's not. But how are you ever going to know? If
you don't until you watch it. Exactly. You're absolutely right. And that's probably one of my next questions is what do you say to people, right? Who ask you, what do you do online? What is this online work that you do? What do you
I tell people, I mentor and coach people and help train them on how to become online entrepreneurs. And they'll say, well, how do you do that? And I'll say, you know what? I would really be doing you a disservice if I try to explain it to you when we have a professional 90-minute information session that will tell you exactly how that works. I would be taking it away from you before you even had a choice to make your own mind up. And I said, one of the things I will never do is try to convince somebody or coerce somebody into starting an online business. That's a personal choice between you and your mate, your partner, your wife, your spouse, whoever. That's a personal choice between you guys. You have to make that decision, not on what I say, right? You have to make it on your own decision. Watch the 90-minute information session and, make your own mind up from there. Then I will answer some questions for you if I can. If not, I will find the answers or point you in the right direction.
That's exactly what I do.
And that's all that we can do, because really, I honestly believe that if we try to sit down and explain it to somebody, we're going to miss something. We're taking away from them. We could take an opportunity that could change somebody's life away from them by trying to do that. So it's not like we're trying to hide anything. We're trying to help these people the best way that we know how. And I like people to make up their own mind, their own decision on doing this. But I'm here firsthand. I'm the first one here. Book a call with me here. Let's get this going, right? Let's spend the time.
I get it.
Oh,
and this workshop that you're talking about, that's tonight.
Oh, right? I know, right?
I'm actually co-presenting tonight as well, so it's actually.
Oh, right, yay! And you do such an awesome job, Ivan. I love watching you do it. You do such an awesome job at giving that information session. And yourself, when you're doing the presentation on telling everything, it comes in a flow in the way that people can understand. But if you sit down on a one-on-one, you're jumping from here to here to here.
Exactly.
To here.
Exactly.
And I'm like one of these rabbit people. I'm walking down the street doing a go live, and I'm talking about one thing, and then whoops, there goes a bunny rabbit, and I'm over there looking at it. And then by the time after I look at the rabbit, I forget what I was talking about. So
welcome to my life as well. Yeah, I get that.
Right? So, I had one gentleman that kept coming to my campsite, and he kept saying, just tell me what it's about. And I said, you know what? It's not for you. And he said, what do you mean it's not for me? And I said, well, we're looking for coachable people that want to make a change in their life, people that are willing to learn. Because this learning, if you go to school to be a hairdresser or a mechanic or a doctor, you learn first and then everything else happens. But if you don't learn first, what kind of mechanic are you going to be? I wouldn't let somebody touch my hair that didn't, go through the training first, or I wouldn't want a doctor looking at me if he hadn't gone through his training first. Well, this business is the same thing. We're professionals, and it's a professional business that will change the life of anybody who wants to have it changed and is willing to put in the work to listen and to do it. And, you go to university, it's going to cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars to do a training program that we offer for the people who want it, right?
And the rest, probably, to be fair, it's probably even more. You know, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
We have professionals doing our training program. It's patented, so nobody else but our people in our business can have our training program, and many, many companies want it, but it's ours. Right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Deborah. I just want to say hello to her. We've got so many people on, Deborah. There's so many people want to say hello. So we've got Lanita who's watching. So hi, Lanita.
Hi, Lanita.
Lauren made me laugh.
How are you?
She listened to me all day. We've got Susan watching from Kenya.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, Susan. We've got Karen watching from Saskatoon. We've got Karen who loves you, Deborah. She's watching from the UK.
Hi, Karen.
Josie in Vancouver. We've got B in California. We've got Erica in Cape Town. Who else have we got? We've got so many people, so many people. Somebody, I think he must be watching down near where you are. So Francisca must be.
Hey, Francisca. Yeah.
She's from Mexico. And then we've got Leanne who's watching from Toronto and Northern BC. So many people, so many people. If you are watching, you want to say hello, drop a note, drop a comment in. We'll try and say hello to you. So, Deborah, tell me, what is your biggest motivation? What motivates you on a daily basis to get up and just live your life?
You know, nowadays, one of the things is nowadays, so many people are going into depression. They can't get out. You know, there's a lot of abuse going on. There's situations, you know, the families are all stuck together. And I know I had 6 children. There was days that you just wanted to take your children and tie them to a post somewhere, you know, but, you know, you can't do those type of things. So people struggle, you know, and not really. I wouldn't want to do that. You know, I used to tell my kids all the time, I brought you into this world, I can take you out. But, you know, you can't do those things. It's jokes, right? But people really get into depressions this time of the year. And I look so forward to getting up in the morning and coming to my computer and, you know, going into it. I talk to different people from all over the world every day and different people every day. So it's never boring. It's the most exciting job that I've ever done. And I don't call it a job. Someone said to me, wow, you put a lot of time into it. And I said, you know what? It's my choice. Nobody's saying, Deborah, you got to be on that computer first thing in the morning or last thing at night, or you got to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Nobody tells me that. With the days that I work, I make my own choice. I take one day a week and I go with friends to the beach. It's a beach day. I have one day at the beach, one day a week at the beach. I take a day of the week that I just spend with friends, you know, whether it's, you know, going to someone else's house or them coming here or whatever. I do that. I have my Sundays that I, you know, attend my church service and things. And the rest of the days I fill in by doing different things. Anything I can do to help somebody makes me feel good. If I can do one thing to be a blessing to help somebody, it makes me feel good, right? You know, the money's great in this business, but the people are what make it.
It is. It is.
I've never met you in the UK.
I know. We've never physically spoken before, you know, but it's.
I know, right?
That's what I love about working online, though. That's what I love about this, the fact that we're connected across the world.
Exactly.
It's so easy.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
It does.
It's amazing.
So how important is mindset, Deborah? Because I know a lot of people want to start a business. They have that desire, but something holds them back. Something stops them from moving forward, etc., etc. How important do you think the right mindset is for someone to be successful?
100%. Your mindset is the first thing. You know, we're like a child. And I tell people, you know, when a baby starts crawling on the floor, they fall on their face and they fall on their face. And then they, you know, they get the knee thing and crawl and going good. And then they try to walk. How many times does a child fall and get hurt and cry? But guess what? They always get back up. So if we don't have that type of mindset, because you know what? Business is not easy. Nobody ever said life was easy, right? But you just don't quit because it's not easy. So mindset, that's the biggest thing. like when I started this business, like I say, I didn't know how to put a picture on Facebook. And yeah, there was days that I sat at my computer with my head down thinking, oh my God, I'm too old, I'm too stupid. And I was afraid of everything. I was afraid that I was going to fail. I was afraid I was going to succeed. I was afraid I was going to mess my computer up and never have a computer again.
Yeah.
Like, I was afraid of everything. So once I get over the initial fear, and I had to believe in myself, I had to believe in the business, and I had to believe in our system. And when I get over the fear in my life and started living by faith, not fear, and I really believe that that's a mindset.
Yeah.
Having faith is a mindset. And, people have different beliefs on what faith is. Like I said to somebody, faith isn't having a magic wand and thinking you're going to become a business owner and snap that wand and it's going to happen. Faith is believing in yourself, believing that you can do this, believing that, it's going to happen for you, and believing that if you stick with it, it will happen. And, because people don't buy $1 million businesses and it happened overnight. They work at 24/7 for many, many years before they ever see a penny profit, and people have to have the faith, not fear, to be able to build their life. And that mindset is totally it. Because if you wake up in the morning and say, oh, this isn't going to work, guess what? You're right. It's not going to work. But if you wake up in the morning and do what I do in the mornings, put my feet on the floor and say, thank you, Lord, for another day. Who can I be a blessing to today? Right? And you get on, and saying, I have faith, not fear. I can do this. I can do this no matter what the struggles, because, when something good comes our way, there's bad thrown at us in every direction. We're standing up, and we're going forward, and there's brick walls throwing at us, there's half-ton trucks throwing at us. Like, we get bricks every day in the back of the head. That's life. Mm-hmm. And you always know when it's really the struggling point of like when I was at my frustration, really frustrated point, thinking, what am I doing wrong? This and that, what's happening? When I got to that point, that's when my faith, not fear, kicked in. And that's when I knew something good was going to happen. When my worst fear came and the worst roadblocks were there, I knew it's just around the corner. And my mindset is what took me there. So mindset is 100%.
It is. You attract the law of attraction kicks in, isn't it?
Exactly.
You attract what you put out there. So
exactly. So you have to believe. You have to believe in something. You have to believe in yourself. And it's like the thing, if you don't like yourself, why would anybody else like you?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right.
Nobody else like you if you don't like you, because if you don't like yourself, you're going to portray that to everybody you see, and people's not going to like you.
No,
right?
You're absolutely right.
You gotta love yourself. You want people to love you. You got to love yourself. You got to love what you're doing, and you've got to, you've got it. Like I say, there's no magic wand out there.
Yeah,
you just look at all the people that have paved the way for us. They've made the mistakes and they're saying, don't do this. And believe me, if there's any mistakes to be made in this business, I have made them. So when I tell people or in my group or whatever, and I'll say, don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do it. Believe me, it's coming from experience, right?
Yeah, no, I get it. Absolutely get it.
Exactly.
You touched on my next question, because you mentioned the magic wand, and that was my next question actually. Is if you had a magic wand, what 3 things in the world would you change?
First of all, if I had a magic wand, first of all, I would have everybody watch that information session. I'm serious. The next thing I would do is take poverty away and fill it with faith, so that people would be able to come and make something of themselves. Because I don't believe we should be given things on a silver platter. I think we need to work for what we have. You appreciate it more, you love it more, and you get better back. What you give, you get back. So, I would want that magic wand to give peace and love to everybody. But first of all, people need to come to this information session. And really, this is the difference. Online is the way to go for the future, right?
It is.
Look at our generation that's growing up in schools today, and all the kids throughout the whole world were working online school with laptops at home. So where are they going to be when they become adults? It's going to be working online. So
Absolutely.
why not get ahead of the system now? You could build a legacy. These young people out there with children, oh my gosh, like they have a gold mine that they could be working on, and they've already got their children's future built, because they could be bringing these children up and learning. They could be learning this online business as they're going. They're going to be saving hundreds of thousands of dollars, because they can be helping these children as they grow, right?
Yeah. Everything's online, isn't it? We bank online, we shop online, you buy a car online, you can see a doctor online. We're online, the world is moving more and more online. It's not going backwards.
No, exactly.
So getting in now, starting a business is a perfect
And Walt
time.
Disney. Look at Walt Disney in Florida, like the largest entertainment center in the world. Walt Disney. He's shutting down 35 of his brick and mortar stores throughout the United States, because he found over the COVID situation that they made more money selling online than they ever did from their brick and mortar store. So they're shut down.
I get it.
Hundreds of thousands of people out of work because they're going online. Sears, everything's online. Everything's buying online. Like, why would anybody put gas in a vehicle and go run through a store, where they have you scrutinized, like they almost put you through a security thing to get into a store to go buy something, when you can buy it online? People are buying groceries and have them delivered to the door now.
Exactly.
We're ahead of the game. We're ahead of the game, right?
So if anybody's watching this and is interested in finding out about what we do online, then what you need to do is you need to go to our website, and you can see our website address on screen. You decide who you want to go to. We will email you information and the link to watch the workshop. And as we said earlier, the next live one is in about 4.5 hours time.
Yes.
All right. But they happen live twice a week, but they're all recorded. So it doesn't matter where in the world you are. It doesn't matter what time you want to watch it, because you can always literally watch it straight away. And we'll provide a link for you to watch it straight away, the last recorded one. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to stay up to the middle of the night if you don't want to. All right. It's incredible. And it's 90 minutes. So, you have to be prepared to watch a 90-minute workshop, but it's kind of two halves. One half is all about why you should work online in our program. But the second half is about online business owners, just like Debra, just like me. And we come on and we actually just share our stories about what it was like to start this business, how it's working for us, and to be honest with you, what we're earning. Right? People are quite open about sharing that information. And Debra, you've been on the workshop, so you know exactly what I'm saying. I never cease to be amazed and inspired when I do these workshops.
And I know, and like at the end of the workshop, and that's counted in the 90 minutes, there's people on there talking about how they started their online business and what their success was or what their struggles were. And, there's always going to be somebody that you'll say, oh my gosh, this person, him or her, they're telling my story. They're talking about my life, So it just proves to people that this business is for everybody. And if they don't have 90 minutes to watch the information session, then maybe it's not for them, right?
Yeah. See you later. Bye.
Yeah.
It is.
For them. Right. But we'll love them anyways. It doesn't matter, right?
No, absolutely. Debra, that's been absolutely awesome. Do you have any final words of wisdom, anything you want to say to anybody who's watching now, who's maybe thinking, it sounds interesting, whatever?
Don't procrastinate, because why look back in a year's time and say, oh, I wish I had joined that online business a year ago? Because look at where you are today. And in a year's time, where are you going to be if you don't get out of your comfort zone and try something new? You're not going to be anywhere different than where you are right now. So if you want to change in your life, you have to make the decision that you want to do it. And like I say, it's going to take time. So I gave myself, a 5-year window to be making an income of $5,000 a month. Well, you know what? I didn't do it in 42 years. So 5 years, I think, was a pretty good
Absolutely.
Time. Absolutely. But when I go into doing something, I don't give it 100%. I give it 110%, because I was adamant. I was going to make this work. I was going to beat this thing. I was going to learn how to put a picture on Facebook, and I was going to learn what the word Twitter means. I mean, you used to call people Twitters, but didn't think it was a social media thing, right? So, you learn these things. And I was adamant that I was going to do it. And still today, Ivan, I still learn something in this business every day. Every day.
Yeah, that's what I think is incredible. And
yes.
Deborah, we could speak all night about this.
I know we could, right?
There's not been enough time. Honestly, we need to do this again, and we need to put more time into this.
Yes.
I could talk to you forever.
For sure.
It's been
I have
absolutely.
you as a guest speaker on my group someday too.
I would love that. Of course, I'm more than happy to do that. More than happy.
I'd love to. We'll definitely talk about that later too.
Yes. But no, thank you, Deborah. Thank you so very much for your time. I absolutely appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you for blessing me by inviting me. Thanks, Ivan. This is
you are so welcome. You are so very welcome.
Thank you.
And to everybody watching, thank you for watching. And we will see you on the next episode of Business Talk with Ivan. So until then, I will bid you farewell. Have a great day, morning, evening, wherever you happen to be. Take care. Stay safe. See you all soon.